Boom, hey internets, Kaycee Rice, let's talk about it. She's a super talented dancer. As you know, I love following dancers and dance. I'm Filipino, so I grew up with a dance crew in like middle school and early high school, and every single Filipino you know can milk an 8-count or DJ. One of the two, maybe both. And so you guys might remember in the last brand that I worked at, I used a lot of influencers in our marketing campaign. So we worked with Ayo and Teo that are musicians. They went on tour with Usher, done multiple features, but they're also known for their dance as well. And then also had a fun time shooting, I think it was a spring line that we integrated with Kida the Great. And so we did that in San Francisco and shot that whole campaign with the homie Gino Rock. So Kaycee is young. At the time that this is post dating, she's still in her late teens. And so with a lot of these dancers, if you're a fan just like me, with a lot of them we get to watch them grow up, sort of. But with the amount of professionalism and the type of features she's already had, being on television, training with a lot of reputable companies, dancing with Sean Liu. Now, what you might not know is she started a clothing line a while back. She did start a line called Weirdo. And the whole premise, I believe, with Weirdo is being different and not being like in the norm. And so using that instead of being felt like an outcast, really embracing the diversity of that and being different as a strength rather than a weakness. So for a while, I've been wanting to do a project where I create a capsule from scratch. And so I thought this would be a good jumping off point just because it's really early. I didn't see any super solid art direction, which is very normal for a new starting brand. But for me, having 20 years of experience, so I thought it'd be fun to kind of remix a capsule drop and show you guys what it would look like and what my thought process when I'm actually designing a line. So for this one, I actually started with a mood board, which is common, but there's a couple different places I could have taken it here. I did research quite a bit of tie-dye and pastels. I feel like light colors are something that she might like because she has a colorful personality and I've seen her wear outfits that do have some color, and then I want to contrast it with a strong edge with some of the graphic communication. A lot of the images are just pictures of Kaycee just because she has so much energy and movement in those photos, and we want to remember that the nucleus of the brand comes from her ideology. Okay, so design-wise, I'm always thinking, what is the logo? That's gonna be the beginning conception of a lot of things. It'll dictate the way you're gonna communicate any uses of stacked logos or a family tree of logos and kind of the first drops, graphic communication in general. So I was playing with the W and the word mark, Weirdo, and then just doing different iterations of that. You can see me playing with the typography here as well. And this is a normal process. I'll usually be doing this with music on. After I developed a few, I realized I wanted to do an updated version of the acronym Weirdo. So Kaycee actually uses this as an acronym, which I didn't mention before, and wasn't sure if I wanted to do it, but in my mind I began a concept doing a really sleek, slanted version of the word and the letters Weirdo, with one of the letters having an accent color. So the D, I gave sort of this fuchsia color, which I love, as an accent to some really dark colors, and then I actually put in the acronym, but I kind of crossed them out. That way I just wanted to highlight diversity in the D, and so those came together as one graphic that I felt could be really strong in a graphic or in the initial collection. At some point in the process, I moved on to a circle patch. These are always handy. These can be a flat graphic that you can use like on a trucker hat, but it can also be like a chenille patch or something with 3D embroidery that you could then use on a track jacket or a varsity jacket. It's very flexible. On that same notion, I wanted to continue and make a rounded corner patch, rectangle patch that has similar elements but just plays off of a different shape. So there's different uses obviously for the different shapes. I was also feeling the use of maybe stacking the words with an oval outline, and so I kind of started playing with this design. This one could be used with maybe a distress. All of these are kind of opening graphics that are heavily branding the name of the brand, which is something I would typically do for starting out with a brand, especially for the first several seasons. I wanted to do a shield or like a Crest logo. So again, I just kind of reformed some of those original elements and moved it in a shape where I can make a crest. Again, same application that you could use with some of the other things. This can be used in an interior pattern. It could be subtle, like tone on tone, but all of these graphic elements are sort of a bank that you can draw off of for not only t-shirt graphics, but also different uses in the apparel. Once I built enough graphics, I actually wanted to do a stacked logo system. So what this does is kind of give you options as to how you could possibly have the logo in both a positive and negative, or a black and white sort of scenario. So literally put these in black and white. They can be in color in case Kaycee decides to use a certain color as the official brand color, but it's good to have these in variation so that you can have them in use for different things like profiles and social media. Label and trim. This is actually one of my favorite parts. Creating label and trim that's interesting but classic and timeless so that you can use it throughout an entire, more than a first season, but first couple years of a brand is important, because if you hit minimums doing it in another country, you're gonna have thousands of those pieces. So put together a nice cohesive plan that I thought was flexible for doing different items that can be cut and sew all the way to accessories. Always gotta have a good P&L. That stands for printed neck label for t-shirts. So for the P&L, I grabbed my template from Clothing Brand Academy, and that's what I used to build my custom P&L for Weirdo Apparel. Incorporating the entire size run, I always like doing this part. It's a touch that you need to have for detail, because when you print on blank shirts, there's always a label. So we always have those cut or pulled out, and then we have our printed neck label printed custom on each of the shirts. Flowing into accessories, I feel like I have to do a dad hat, also known as an unstructured hat. And so for this, I actually took it from one of my templates from Clothing Brand Academy. And from that, I was able to grab from my bank of graphics I've already created, and found one that would be perfect as either a screen print or an embroidery for a hat. Depends on the fabrication, but if we're just using a canvas blank, both would be good in this situation. In the end, I want to put a few colorways together so that we can see what it might look like in end production. Hey guys, I'm here at the studio and I'm realizing that I never really shot a transition for this last part here. So thanks for watching this far. All of these designs were done over several weeks, because as you know, I have my YouTube channel. I do a lot of consulting, and of course I have design work for other companies, and really busy right now at the end of the year. But this was really fun. This is like a first round draft, or just a collection of looks that I would show, let's say Kaycee or the founders, the movers and shakers at a company, so we could work together collaboratively to really create a look together to create a first collection for a company. So I feel like I got some good looks here. I want you to see it in action. This is the final reveal. This is the point at which you smash the like button and hit subscribe if you liked the content, or if you're gonna start your own clothing line. I have over 600 videos to help you on that journey. I wanna thank Kaycee Rice for being awesome. If you wanna see a layout version of this, click the link below, which is gonna be johnphenom.co/Kaycee Rice. We got a lot more of these coming out, so please stay tuned. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.